What's up, guys? A lot of artists are gonna hate me for this video, but I'm okay with that because I'm here to give you some insights into art fairs and why they may not be worth it for you. If you don't know me, my name is Junior Gomez. I'm a full-time artist in Charlotte, North Carolina. I create murals, paintings, and I've been in the game for about 4 years now. I've been around long enough to learn what has worked and what hasn't, and I kind of want to give you some insights from my perspective. In this video, we're going to talk about cost, efforts, return, and investments into art fairs. But before I give you some insights, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I would love your support. First and foremost, let's talk about the hidden costs to every art fair you're going to be attending. The cost to these booth fees depend on the popularity of the art fair. If the art fair has been around for a very long time and is extremely popular and in demand, they're gonna be a lot higher because of the audience that is going to these art fairs to purchase art. But some of these fees are extremely expensive, especially for someone who's starting out or someone who's emerging into the game. Some artists are not pricing their artwork enough to make that return back. Travel and accommodations must be considered when you're attending any art fair. You may be lucky that the art fair may be in your hometown, but you still have to take into consideration the gas, the logistics in getting there, and any type of material rentals that you need to acquire. Some art fairs, especially the big ones, may not be near you, so you have to travel to these locations. You have to rent a car if you don't have a car big enough to get all of your supplies to that location. And we can't forget about gas. Gas is something that many people don't consider when going to these, but you have to take into account any type of money that you're pouring into anything to get to this location. Now, gas may not be a big expense, but if you're traveling 800 miles to an art fair, that can add up very quickly. Most importantly, if you're traveling hours away or even maybe days, you're gonna have to reserve a hotel. And if this is a popular art fair, most of these art fairs are very, very expensive to get into, and it brings in a big amounts of crowd. So that time, those hotels are gonna be increased in price because they're gonna have to accommodate to the demand that's required. Sometimes hotels can run you up to $1,000 to $2,000, especially if there's a big demand for it. A decent amount of logistics needs to be taken into consideration when you're going to any other art fair. You're gonna have to consider how you're gonna display your work, any type of installations needed to showcase your work the way you want it to showcase. And this requires money. And not only are you gonna have to consider how to get these displays or any type of materials to this location, you're gonna have to add on your artwork to that. And if you're looking to make a big sellout, you're gonna need a massive truck or something to get you there. Now, if you have that, that is incredible, but you still have to account for all those materials that you bring into the location. Let's move on to time and energy. Time and energy is something that you don't really take into consideration until you do events like this. When you're going into art fairs, it requires a lot of your time, it requires a lot of resources, and it requires a lot of mental capacity for you to try to get all the logistics right for this show to be one of the best shows that you can possibly make. Let's talk about setup. Setup takes about 2 to 3 hours. It depends on how much help you have, but if you don't have any type of help, you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna be able to get all of your artwork to be set up so that you can hang your artwork for displays. Now, this takes a decent amount of time. Some people may have it all figured out already, and that's incredible, that's great. But if you're not someone who has help and you're doing it alone, it's gonna take you time, it's gonna take energy, and you're gonna have to arrive 2 to 3 hours before the show starts in order to get everything looking great and perfect so that when past buyers walk by, they have something to see. Now, you may be fortunate if you attend an art fair that doesn't require setup and breakdown every single day, but some art fairs do. Some art fairs require you to break down and set up every single day because they don't have any type of security to look over your artwork just in case someone comes and tries to steal it. So you have to take into account how long it took you to set it up and how long it's gonna take to break down, especially added on the hours that you have to be there talking to people and trying to sell your artwork. Let's say the art fair lasts around 8 to 10 hours. And if you don't have any help, that is you working 8 to 10 hours, interacting with customers. You have to constantly talk about your artwork, and that is draining, especially from artists. Artists don't really like to talk much, and a lot of us are reserved, like me. You also have to take into account the times you have to step away from your artwork. 8 to 10 hours in your booth is a lot. You're gonna have to go use the bathrooms from time to time. You wanna go eat something, and that takes you away from your booth, which may hinder a sell from a potential buyer. Now, if you do have help, you can take as many breaks as you like because you always have someone there to attend the booth, but you're gonna have to pay that person. Now, this person may be your partner, maybe a friend, maybe a family member that would love to offer their time for free, but let's be real, that's unlikely. You're gonna have to pay them something. And even if you decide not to pay them, you may want to offer them meals or any type of expenses such as stay, lodging, and that's all on you. All those costs is on the artist. So you have to understand the hidden cost into these art fairs before you say yes to them. Let's talk about unpredictable returns. Many art fairs are very popular and people go to these locations to purchase art. But there are many other art fairs out there that people don't really know about. This is a new thing that the town wanted to do, and this is something that they're just trying to figure out along the way. There's not really much organization behind it and not a lot of marketing. So you have to really understand your market, you have to understand the audience and the history behind all the art fairs before attending. I'm not a fan of talking about people's artwork and saying what's good or what's bad because art is so subjective. You just don't know your audience until you have your audience. But you also have to kind of take into consideration the type of people that will be attending these art fairs. If it's an older crowd and an older demographic, they may not like hip and contemporary paintings. They may want more traditional and older style paintings. I'm not putting older people in a category, I'm just saying from what I've experienced in the past. Some art fairs are profitable, especially if you find your market and you have an audience that seeks you in these art fairs. So let's talk about profit and upside and how to either break even or make some type of a return. I'm gonna give you some rough estimates because every art fair is different in pricing and every location is different. But if you're looking to attend a decent art fair, you're looking to spend around $350 on an art booth. Car rentals, especially if you're looking to get a truck or some type of a trailer that's gonna be able to hitch all of your equipment to that location, it's gonna cost around $800 to $1,000. Your hotel cost for 3 days is about $1,000. Materials and supplies are gonna be $300 to $400, and if you're gonna hire help, it's around $350 to $400. And gas and food are around $300 to $400 as well. So that's a total of $3,200 give or take. That means just to break even, you need to sell around $3,000 worth of artwork. That's a lot of money. And that can seem a little daunting for someone who's selling their artwork for $100 to $200. You will have to sell around 15 to 20 paintings just to break even. That's a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of effort. In order to sell that amount of work, your selling tactics have to be really good. And you just have to be extremely strong with sales. Now, this is my favorite topic to discuss about, and that's different types of art fairs. Not every art fair is an art fair. These are just activations that they want to be a part of a bigger fair or a bigger event. For example, there's a carnival coming into your town and the county wants to have an activation with artists to sell their artwork. So they offer around 10 booths to artists so that they can sell their artwork. From my experience, they're not worth it at all. People are not coming to carnivals to purchase artwork. They're looking to get cotton candy, enjoy the experience, and eat a turkey leg. From what I've experienced, people are gonna come to your booth and they're gonna say, wow, that's so pretty. Oh my God, you are so talented. Wow, this is incredible. And you're just left like, then buy my art. It can become very frustrating, especially if you're getting all of these compliments, but no one is purchasing your art. And it's not to say that your art isn't good enough. It's great, it's incredible. I can imagine that what they're saying is real. They are being genuine with you, they're not lying. It's that their intentions that morning was not to go to a carnival and spend $200 to $300 on a painting. especially if this carnival or event didn't advertise this activation as a place where people can come and buy art and actually look at the artists that are here with their talent. There has to be a lot of marketing involved in that end so that people can come to this carnival as an expectation that they're gonna enjoy themselves for the event, but also look to see talent and artists where they can go home with one of their paintings. It's important to understand these activations and art fairs. Activations is just a space in an entire event where past buyers can go and see what's happening in that area. An art fair is a fair where people actually go to purchase and buy art. Some artists may do really well at these events, especially if their prices are really low. If you're looking to sell your work for $10 to $20, someone is willing to cough that up, especially if they really loved that night or they want to have some type of remembrance for that day. But if your artwork is selling at above $100, $200, maybe even $300, it's really difficult to get someone to purchase art when they went there for a specific event and just to enjoy the night. So make sure you do your research before saying yes to any type of art fair you attend. Let me give you some alternative to art fairs and things that have worked for me and my business. Building an online presence takes a lot of energy. It does take a lot of work. But when you build the online presence, that is a revenue stream that you can sell your work through. You can also gain a massive amount of followings so that people can reach out to you to purchase your artwork and they will start reaching out to you for commission. It takes a decent amount of work, but it's worth it, especially if you're going after YouTube and other social media sites. YouTube is also monetizable. If you have the patience to learn the process and continuously build up your YouTube channel, your other social media platform, people will start reaching out to you for projects. That's worked for me in many occasions. In my opinion, collaboration has been one of the biggest things that has helped me in my business. Reaching out to local galleries, breweries, restaurants, businesses in those fields will help you advance in your journey. They have a lot of networking opportunities with their friends and other businesses. So when they have other projects, they'll be thinking of you when they want artwork, they want murals, or something along the lines of what you're doing. Let me give you a quick personal story as to what I've experienced with art fairs. I live in Charlotte, and this art fair was in Western North Carolina, where I had to travel 4 hours to. I was extremely excited, and to be honest, I thought I was gonna have a sellout show. It was like a no-brainer to me. And I really didn't take into consideration all the expenses that was gonna be required for me to attend this show. I had to pay for booth fees, I had to pay for travel, food, lodging, and everything else that I really didn't take into account. So this total ran me up around $2,000. I was lucky enough to sell around $1,000 worth of paintings. This was the third year that the art fair was going on, and I was kind of excited because this town is supposedly a town where a lot of tourists come, and this was something that I was looking forward to. Something I did learn from the experience was the logistics that it took in order for me to make this event even possible. I had to save up enough money for me to make this possible, and I realized the actual amount it was gonna cost me to attend an event like this. Because this was my first event, I ended up doing another art fair 2 weeks later just to test the waters and to see if my perspective was a little skewed. The second one wasn't an art fair, it was actually an activation, and I made $80 in sale. I was lucky enough to sell 2 of my art prints, and that was a 12-hour day of me selling 2 prints. That was very, very difficult to my ego and to my soul. And after that, I really did some self-reflection. And that's what got me to the point where I wanted to learn different avenues on how to make money from my art business because I knew that wasn't it. Okay, so let's wrap this up. I don't want to diminish every single art fair out there, and I also don't want to diminish the artists that are doing really well in these art fairs. There are a lot of art fairs out there that you can thrive off of and make a really great living, but it's gonna require a lot of time, energy, and resources. But I also want you to understand that they're not the only way to grow your art business. Exposure these days is not the same as it was 4, 5, maybe even 10 years ago. When people say that you can get exposure off of this, a lot of people won't follow you just because they saw your artwork one time. It's gonna take more than 3 minutes for somebody to walk by your art booth to truly resonate with your story and to follow you. If you've done art fairs and they've been very profitable for you, keep doing you and keep going after that avenue. But if you're somebody who's consistently doing art fairs, you're not seeing any returns, and you're not seeing that profit come back to you in time, energy, resources, or whatever it is you want to gauge, make sure that you start to understand other types of avenues that's going to get you to your goals. Figure that out, because these art fairs can really drain your pockets really fast, especially if you don't understand what's going into them and what's coming out. And like I said before, this video and all these comments are from my perspective. I am not trying to be negative here. I am just trying to share my experience and what I have learned. There are different art avenues that you can take to profit your business and to get to where you want to go to. It's not just art fairs, it's not just online marketing, and it's not just social media presence. It's a wide range of things that you can start to build in order to get to wherever it is that you're trying to go to. If you're an artist and you like to attend art fairs and you do really well on, share your experience down below in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. And if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to get more insights on being a full-time artist and building your art business. I hope I catch you in the next one. Peace.